Sejuani is a very annoying champion to face, so I'm not surprised. Then as for the bans on the purple side of KCL Red, they take away Aurelia from KVO Sniper, who we saw play so... Oh, we saw KVO Sniper play so well on that Aurelia in the quarterfinals of the tournament last week. And then the Fizz ban and Morgana ban, I'm not 100% sure about. But now we'll just move on to the picks here, and we see that KVO Sniper quickly snaps up that Lissandra pick. Lissandra is a really good flex pick for both X-Kyoshi and KVO Sniper play it, and they can take it to the mid or the top lane, so taking it doesn't actually secure anything, but as you can see later on in the picks, the Sion pick has been capitalized on here, so that could spell out the list top, because I don't believe that Anna's Best really likes to take tanks in the jungle, as far as we saw from the last time around. He did play a Fizz, and he did play Xin Zhao, so I wouldn't be surprised if that is KVO Sniper on that Sion in the top lane and Lissandra in the mid. We also see from them Ains, who is a Leona main, as you can see in his name, Ains Best Leona, getting that Leona that he really wanted. And now we actually have the full team lock-in from ERMGAD here. They have Jarvan in the jungle, they have the Lissandra mid, the Sion top, and Jinx AD carry, supported by Leona. This team is very hard engaged. They have the nice Lissandra E into ult onto any one of them on that KCL Red side. They have the Sion ult, they have the Sion Q. It's not really a re-engage, but it's a really nice knock-up that can, if they don't have the appropriate vision, start a good fight for them. They have all of the CC and engage coming out of the Leona from Ains. And then they have Jarvan's EQ and ult just to lock someone down. Enough about the ERMGAD side though, and we will look to KCL Red in what we see from their team. They have SE1 Raven on that Maokai top. We did have him casting in the last game. The cast feels kind of empty without him, doesn't it? On that Maokai versus, I assume he expected the Lissandra pick as a top laner and took Maokai into a Maokai is extremely tanky and in early levels does quite a lot of damage, so wouldn't be surprised. And I think the Sion matchup is still okay for him, but Sion can shred him from afar with the E, although Lissandra can do so with the Q as well, but it's a lot higher of a mana cost for her than it is for the Sion E. And we have the Vi picked up there, and we saw Vi played both times in the last tournament, not in the last tournament, in the last game in the semi-finals with Walthamstow, where their Vi Ninshiki actually got loads of early pressure in and dominated quite hard. And talk of repetition, we have a Katarina pickup as well. In last game we did see that 10-1 Katarina. Graves and Zyra being picked up in the bot lane. We haven't really seen much Zyra picked up in this tournament, really. I haven't really seen much Zyra at all in this season, but Graves is definitely one of the more dominant AD carries right now. And against Jinx, a quick W can put her at a disadvantage. She can't really auto-attack, and the majority of her damage, excluding her W, kind of comes from auto-attacks that she can't get out when she's blinded. And for this game, we are also joined with the manager, like last week, of ERMGAD. And you want to say your highs?
Hello, people. Yes, I don't know. Looking at the comps here, I think we're going for an easy win. They let a lot of stuff slip for us. I guess, I don't know. I think that's to do with less research, really. They did ban the famed Fizz of Vanas, but yeah, we'll see how this goes. I'm quite excited.
Definitely. You can see that you guys have done your research banning away that Ari, who everyone knows the Keeper of Lollies is really good on that Ari, and I assume the Janna pick, or the Janna ban more so, is because if you look at your team comp is definitely orientated towards going in, and you really didn't want that Janna being a kind of stifler of that, like how she was with the last game with between Walthamstow and it was Pandora, there we go, where Pandora picked that whole kind of, we're going to fly towards you and stun you and CC lock and all of that good stuff and just keep you down and then kill you, and Janna was just like, nope, tornado, 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 all away. No one's getting near any of my people, and we're just going to kill you while you're trying to get back to us, kind of thing. And you guess you really didn't want that, did you?
Not really. We talked about this last week. We said we were going to definitely ban Janna because we're going for full-on engage. I mean, that's just the way we play, and that's why we ban Janna. We know we don't want anything upsetting this. But yeah, I mean, Zyra in a way can work kind of counterproductive to us, but it's not that much of a pick. I don't know. I haven't seen it this season that much, so. No,
definitely
trying to bring back the season 3 support. But
yeah, it would be quite interesting if we see them have the SKT skin on that Zara. Some compare with Zara play. I haven't really seen much of it myself. I only really see it in solo queue where they play more like a mid laner. Really, they're just like 21-9-0 and just try and burst the enemy before they can actually engage onto you. But the E off of her is quite a good disengage. It's not quite as good as Janna is against Ains and Leona, where she could just Q and you stop mid-movement. Like, if she E's you, it doesn't stop you getting towards them, and it doesn't stop you auto-attacking as far as I know, but it goes somewhere in the way of stopping them. And Maokai can lock someone down as soon as they go in, but I think this game is probably going to be focused more entirely on who gets the better engage, really, and how they deal with that. So, for example, when we have this Maokai could be very good in when ERMGAD engage. Maokai could be important in that he stops one of the strong, like, he can mitigate so much of their damage, but on the other hand, Sion could also do that in the sense that if the enemy team engage onto him, he just ults them, and then that's like 4 people up, and that's so much damage that isn't happening while they're knocked up. And so it's offense being the best defense here, essentially, in these teams. As you come into the loading screen, we see here AD carries clearly don't really like skins, do they? That said, neither do the top laners or the junglers. It seems only really got the skins in the mid lane, and Leona, because he's the best Leona, has a skin. Because, you know, it'd be sacrilege for him not to. But yeah, I think the most interesting pick in this game is the Zyra pick, and we will really see how that plays out. I don't see what he's trying to go for here. The ult is strong because of the team fight. Like, if he can lay that ult on top of ERMGAD trying to go in, if he can get that knock up, it'll be really nice. But in terms of the kind of the kit, the things she brings to the game, I don't see how so much she would be better than other picks. Although you did pan away Janna, who was the optimal pick against your team, so that was pretty smart. We have just going into game and the client's being buggy, saying that we're 8 minutes in, but we're not really. Sorry about that. People are just buying items, getting ready to go into this very anticipated game ahead. I would love to see if there are any strong invades coming out of these teams. The Vi and the Jarvan aren't really known for great invades, like how in the last game you could have suggested with their teams that there could have been a really good invade. But that said, that doesn't mean that there is not one to be had. Leona, if she starts E first, can be really vital, especially if she can get 2 people in that E that locks 2 people down for a little while. And I guess we've come to expect that Ains' Leona will be the best, as he says, so it just seems as though nothing's really going to happen here, though. We have 5 people around that mid lane, and kind of 3 of them on the side of KCL going down towards the bot, but it just seems like it's going to be standard. It looks as though Jarvan's going to start blue, but I'd be confused as to if he did. He would really want that bot lane to help him, wouldn't he? Set him quite far behind Vi. We saw how quickly Vi can clear the jungle in the last set, where she was miles ahead of the Pantheon that she was against in game 2 of Walthamstow versus Pandora. But that was another game with different players, and we're to see if Farscape 1 plays the same. We don't know if he plays the same kind of Vi as Ninshiki. He may clear slower, he may play her more defensively than he did, but we will see as the game goes in. It's only early days right now, and it looks as though Jarvan is going to give the Krugs over to his bot lane so they can get that early level advantage, and he's just going to solo red on his own, and Sion's just going to solo his Those chickens. Just gotta make the most out of that jungle. Four people getting XP out of one side of the jungle, while Kyoshi in the mid lane giving away nothing. Was this plan pre-strategized with your whole team on the bottom side of the jungle?
We kind of wanted these early advantages for our top lane and our bot lanes because really, I mean, we don't like KVO Sniper just being behind. I mean, he got behind last week, but in both games, and I mean, it was quite detrimental to our gameplay. So we just really want him ahead. I mean, especially with the Scion as well, you really want to start those camps and get that early level advantage. I mean, that's just standard strategy. But now that our bot lane have kind of had more time to play together because Cheeky hadn't had a laptop for about like a couple months.
And there we go with that first blood there, going over straight over to Anna's best on that Jarvan. It was a really nice level 2 gank coming out from Jarvan. One thing I didn't actually mention there was that Jarvan is such a strong level 2 ganker in comparison to Vi, so there could have come something with that, and something did come from that. That does give them that first blood gold, and they're now about roughly 700 gold in the lead here. Pause comes out, and so with that, as we established last week with him playing Fizz and Xin Zhao, and on that Xin Zhao actually going legendary, do you think this was what you best planned for? Did you want that kill onto Anna's best, or would you rather have had it on that Jinx?
We don't really mind either way because I mean, the Jinx and J4, they're both our carries really, so I wouldn't make a difference really. But I guess if it was for maybe let's say the top lane or the mid lane, we'd rather have it on the J4 just because Anna's plays so well at carrying the game. That's the main thing really. But
Okay.
I don't know what this pause request is for.
For some reason I really wouldn't be surprised if it's actually a toilet break or something. Several people in the chat want us to say hi to Kyoshi for them. But yeah, with this pause, I'm not really entirely sure what to really talk about. I think that kind of bodes quite unwell is the wrong word here. It puts a negative light on that Zyra pick that I said was the most interesting pick of this game. She's already 0-1, and now we're coming back into the game. The level 2 advantage that they got off of those Krugs was definitely worth it for them. I'm not entirely. It didn't put Anna's best at all behind because he actually did get first blood. So, first blood plus 1 camp is, I think, good. It's more worth it than taking 2 camps on one side of the jungle. That's for sure. Now we have a quick look at CS. CS is relatively even across the board. The only differentiating kind of thing here is the fact that there's an assist on Jinx over the Graves. Other than that, everyone is still kind of equally farmed in all lanes apart from the jungle, where we can see Vi as a 5 CS lead, but over first blood, that isn't really worthwhile. We do see her kind of moving in towards the... Oh, she's doing the skull crab. Looking on the minimap, it looked as though she was kind of like moving around to the Jarvan's jungle, but that was I thought it was a bit of a wrong anyway. We see she is moving up into Sion's face here. She does land a Q. That was pretty point blank though, so I'm not surprised. She does get hit up by that E that stops her from kind of following up, especially because she burnt Q so early, and Jarvan is there just to protect him last minute, just in case, but he's pretty safe here. We have Keeper of Lollies here. Interestingly, he is he doesn't have a CS lead now, but he did prior to the Q out of Kyoshi there, just picking up minions, and in a ranged versus melee setting, that's actually really good of him. He's definitely benefiting in this lane somehow. Like he's winning the kind of the details battle here, from keeping up and being ahead sometimes in CS, even though he hasn't got range. You see Zyra gets a nice E onto Ains there, just trying to lock him up before he can really move on them, but the little plants kind of just turn into feet, they just turn into CS really for Ains and Cheeky. You can see that this mid lane is actually going in the favor of Keeper of Lollies, like relatively hard. He's pushing into him. He is Kyoshi is level 5 and he is also level 5, but I think he has a CS lead. Oh, not a CS lead, an XP lead. I think he has a small XP lead, and Kyoshi actually has to leave, which means that Karina is going to hit 6 first and can start making an impact on the map, which is vital, really. We saw in the last set how vital the Karina roams can be in just getting her fed. She went 10-1 or something along those lines in the last set, so we'll see if Keeper can do better or do the same. They are against arguably harder opponents in this one. This semi-final is, I'm hoping, to be less one-sided than that the last set was, but as I said, we will really see what goes down. Having a quick look, we have Anna's Best seemingly coming down here again, and there comes that flash E straight onto Kenza's. Kenza's going to get taken pretty low. That is him down. Raven comes in, but is still a 2v3. He does get that W onto Cheeky. Cheeky has to flash, but he's now on the turret, so you don't think he's really going to get anything. Farscape comes in, and that's Anna's Best down. Cheeky is really low now. I don't really think he wants to stay here, but he's not really following Ains out of the fight. He seems like he wants to stick around, and that is going to be a kill for Lolly. I don't think he's going to be able to get... Oh, he goes in deep for that, but I don't think it's going to work out for him. And that's a kill onto Ains.
The best Leona.
Yeah, he really is the best Leona I've seen. 1-0 and 2. Raven really wants to stop him from going B here. Just waste some time so they can try and take this turret down. That trade was questionably in favor of KCL Red. They got quite a lot of damage onto that turret, but Sion is still sitting up top lane. He still got his TP, and Raven had to burn his, and technically got nothing out of it. He's still 0-0-0, and now being out-farmed because he wasn't around that CS. Although that said, even though we had that roam come down from the Maokai, which put him behind, we had the roam come out of the Karina, which is what we wanted Karina to do, and she is still she doesn't have a CS advantage now, but she did have a CS advantage for the duration of her roaming, going back and coming back, and now she's on equal playing field with Kyoshi right now. She went straight for the Sork boots as well, which is a good choice for her because it's more effective than the double Dorans is for Lissandra. Lissandra can pump out more damage, but she has no CDR, which means that she's not really pumping out. She's just got more mana to abuse if she can CS well. Whereas the Sork boots mean that every time Keeper roams, he can deal more damage because he already has that high flat damage that just works for him. And now we have Raven Duke, not really a juke to be fair, it was quite delayed, but over that sniper's Q, he just kind of W'd away, walked behind him, and he didn't really want to let go, so he just decided to go for the minions instead, and it wasn't really a fight at all here. We have Keeper goes in there, and it was a bit of a bad choice for him, because this could be it, and Kyoshi picks up that kill. It was a bad engage by Keeper of Lollies there. It puts him down to 1 and 2. A bit of dewarding going on by the Jarvan. They're 2 and 1 right now. If we have a look at the gold score right now, 12.7k to 11.8. That's roughly 900 to 1,000 gold in the lead of ERMGAD. But they do have the numbers advantage here, and it looks like they're going to make good use of it. Sion's TP is up, and they're just going to go around this dragon. Maokai can't do anything if Sniper decides to go down there, and if the enemy team try to do something here, they will probably get picked on, like how Ains has just done here to Farscape. That's an ult coming out of Ains there, flashed away by Farscape, but a Leona ult for the flash is definitely worthwhile because it means that Vi now can't flash Q. It looks like Anna's Best is just going to go back. He's probably staying on quite a bit of gold, and they just got that first dragon, so he's definitely in a comfortable position. He's he's sitting on 1.2k, and oh wait, no, sorry, that was my bad. That was Lissandra. He did finish off his enchantment essentially. Now we have Raven up here in the top lane on that Maokai against Sniper. The lane isn't really going in his favor. He's now 20 CS behind. He does have his Catalyst, but if he doesn't level up soon, he's not going to get much out of it right now because he's pretty low and doesn't have a TP to get back to lane. So Sniper is just going to push this in, extend that lead, both in XP and in CS here, and hopefully he can just shut Maokai out. I think that's what the plan is. What did you think about the Sion versus Maokai lane?
I think we definitely planned for this. I mean, we knew Well, we were expecting a list ban, but when they didn't ban it, we guess we first picked it, and we were expecting them to counterpick it with the Maokai, and we said we're just going to go for the Scion because the top laner sniper is really comfortable with the Scion, and especially the matchups. I think is generally more in favor of the Scion uh, for the top lane, but yeah, I mean, I'm pretty happy with this so far.
Mm. Well, as you can see, it is really working out for you. And if we look at Sion, he's not even afraid of the Maokai's damage at all. He's going straight for that Frozen Heart. He wants that CDR and he wants the armor just in case, because of Graves' pure burst damage, even though he is on somewhat equal pegging here with the Jinx. Even though the Jinx has died, they're equal CS and both have 2 assists. So but we do know that Graves has incredible burst with the ult and Q and just a couple auto attacks just to finish people off. And with a Frozen Heart, those auto attacks will come a lot slower than they would have normally. And past that, it's just 100 free armor. It's not free, but it's just 100 armor that can pen, like, it stops all of that damage and kind of forces, if Graves wants to stay relevant in the killing a tank game, to, forces him to get a last whisper somewhat early, like third item or second, even if they kind of have early team fights and Sion proves too much to handle for him. And we see Jarvan coming here through the Tribush. They know there's no wards because they have pinks. We have a look on the side of KCL Red. They don't really have much vision anywhere. There's no vision up on the top side. We do have Farscape coming in here with that ult. Ends cheeky with it, just slams him to the floor and picks up that kill. That's 2-0 on Vi right now. Maokai goes in on KVO Sniper. That was a bit of a misplaced movement there. It looked as though he was going to walk away from the Q, but then he didn't. And that's the bot lane turret going down, first turret of the game for KCL Red. What do you feel? Oh, here we go, actually. Keeper of Lollies gets locked down there, smashed down with the dunk on that ult from Anna's best, and that is a 1-in-3 Katarina. Clearly, they're just shutting her down as hard as they can. We do have 3-1 on the Jarvan and 1-0 onto Lissandra here, but how do you feel about that, Gank? How do you think? Was this a plan you had, trying to shut out a Keeper of Lollies, knowing that he's the kind of star of their team?
We had more of a. We kind of didn't feel it was more he was the star. We felt more of our mid laner as the weak point of our team. We didn't really. We were confident in him, but I mean, especially against a player like Keeper of Lollies, he's quite good. And we didn't really want him to start like going too far behind, having the Fed Katarina as well, having the Fed like Arya, all these different champions he could have, and just easily win the games on his own. I mean, so far it's working out for us great. I mean, our bot lane isn't doing the best, but I mean, if we're still even CS, and he's only up in assists, so I mean, I'm interested to see how it goes because Jinx is a much better late game AD carry than the Graves. So
definitely, yeah. While she is 0-2 now, the CS is even, and if she can keep the XP going and try and stay even with Graves, they need to be careful of the first few team fights if there is going to be one around this dragon that is coming up in 1 minute and 20 seconds, because Graves' burst AoE could just win a fight flat out, even though he is only 0-3. If we have a look at his AD right now, we can see that he has 182, and that is quite a lot for, he's got probably more than the Jinx does right now. I think the Jinx she has a 182, but the ratios on the Q and ult are good, so he will be able to burst down probably everyone bar Sion right now, because Sion has invested so much into armor. But interesting purchase here from the Jarvan. Even though they have shut down Katarina down to 1-3, he has opted for a Hex Drinker, even though we have ult coming out here from Sniper. Interesting. I don't see why he didn't get anything from that there, really. I mean, Raven wasn't really looking for a fight, and he just kind of went in. No one was around. No kill comes from it, and that's just one cooldown that KCL Red can take down. Dragon off in about 15 seconds here. We have 4 members of KCL Red around. 2 of them are in the mid lane, but it is a numbers advantage all the same. Kenzas is trying to keep some vision up, using his plants to keep the brush ordered there. And we see the teleport comes out onto the plant there, and Raven is here. Dragon is live, and this could be a fight. Jinx getting some nice little poke there on the Scion, gets locked up quickly, but nothing seems to really be happening. Now they do know that Raven's ult is down, and Ainge tries to lock up the Zyra, but Zyra gets away with a snappy flash. And here is the right kind of fight that they want. They have Raven coming in here. The ult comes out from Cham, and that is a dead job. And Anna's Best is out of this. Scion goes down too. We have Keeper of Lollies going on this Cheeky. Cheeky is going to go down to the Ignite. And Will Ains goes down, and Kyoshi, will he live? No, he doesn't. That is a double kill on to Keeper of Lollies. That puts him from 1-3 to 3-3. And someone could argue support Graves here on that 008. He was James Bond, but now he doesn't get to be quite as cool. Now he's just support Graves. That fight went heavily in the favor of KCL Red, and while it doesn't look like they can get too much because all they have is Cham and the Katarina here, although they will probably get this turret here. How do you feel about that team fight?
I think burning the Scion ult was a huge mistake. I mean, I think that personally was almost what lost us the fight. I guess we would have had a much better engage if they hadn't obviously if he hadn't burnt it on the Maokai. I don't know why either. Maybe maybe it was a misclick or something. I don't know. They don't usually make decisions like that. But I guess we're gonna pick up the dragon from this. So tower for a dragon, but they do pick up quite a few kills from it. As you can see, the Katarina kind of getting back into the game with the 3-3-3, and now actually ahead of the Lissandra. So.
Yeah, I agree. If you look at the gold count now, even though it is 2 dragons to 0 and it's equal in kills, the CS and the turret advantage goes in favor of KCL Red right now, who are they are roughly about like 300 gold. It's not that big, but it's a gold lead all the same, and we have a nice Q coming out from Fastgate, but it's a little bit misjudged here. I don't think he knew Kyoshi was around, and this could spell something bad for him, but it doesn't look like it will. He's gonna walk away, lick his wounds, and probably farm something, or just go B, try and heal up. He is 3-1-3 right now, and it looks like he's opting towards that Sunfire cape. Wants some armor to make sure that he stays okay away from this Jinx, and the Jarvan, who is 3-2 right now with the Warrior Enchantment for that armor pen, will mean he does a lot of damage, as we've come accustomed to with Anna's Best being the carry jungler type of player. And it also kind of is reflected in Maokai's build. He also got the straight after his Righteous Glory, he went for that Glacial Shroud, the cooldown reduction, and the armor is definitely going to help him because it means he gets his ult up quicker, which means he can tank more damage, and then he also just gets that armor, which saves him that little bit extra damage away from the fed Jarvan right now. Although I say he's fed, he isn't quite as strong as this Katarina is right now, and even that said, Kyoshi on Lissandra is actually somewhat more fed than him just because of her CS right now. And if we have a look at the mid laners, we can see that the damage kind of game is definitely in the favor of Katarina right now in terms of the itemization. And did we just see Scion E a plant into Zyra? Turning plants against her, I guess. That's definitely something interesting to see. I didn't think I'd see that. I didn't know his E actually worked on those, and we can see that Kyoshi is just going to drop some quick Q on Farscape 1, but it didn't really do anything. He went for a null magic mantle, I think that's what it's called. Just to try and mitigate that, because I think he's trying to respect the fact that Lissandra is 2-1, and if he E's, Q's, and ults someone, that person is going to take a lot of damage. Even though he did opt for the more tanky, less damage-orientated Rod of Ages route on the Lissandra. He does have Sork Boots, though, which will definitely boost that damage coming out of the Q's. Seems as though everyone's kind of rotating around this top lane. They kind of want to be here. We have 5 on the side of KCL Red and 4, excluding Kyoshi, on the side of God. But nothing is going to really happen here, it seems. We have Keeper of Lollies going down because he sees that Kyoshi is around here and probably wants to make sure he can defend and just, or make the pick pick someone off because he knows he's stronger right now, although the CC that could come out of Exkyoshi could stop him, like that W did. Took a lot of damage, though, for the W to, you know, stop him, really. He dropped into about 2/3 HP. Raven knows that Ains is around because he wouldn't leave that Jinx alone here. It's 0-3 right now. And he just dashes that sapling in there, makes sure that his premonition wasn't wrong. You've got the 3 up here in the top lane trying to get some push. One thing we haven't actually talked about here is Cheeky is one hell of a pusher on Jinx, and even though he is 0-3, he's up in CS. He's not even an item down right now. They've literally item for item the same, apart from one Doran's ring to a dagger. I think that's quite interesting, considering we see the kind of the way that the AD carries have played out and how Graves is 0-8 instead of having died and not gotten the or has, you know, he doesn't have the same kind of assists, so he doesn't have as much gold, although the 20 CS probably makes up for it, doesn't it? And still just kind of rotating around this top lane. It's kind of working in the favor of God right now because they have bot lane pushing. And to stop that right now, they need to either send someone bot or Maokai needs to TP. And the top lane turret is really low, and they just go in. SE1 Ravens caught kind of out of guard. Oh, there we go. That goes down the turret to Jinx. That's Kenza's. He goes down to the Jinx ult after Kyoshi locks him down. And that is a turret and a kill for nothing. Graves did try to push down mid, but Anna's best was there to protect it, so nothing really goes down here. Just going to go B from the Jinx there, and everyone else is going to try and stick around just in case there's a counter push, but with no Graves to push for them, they don't really get much there. 40 seconds until the dragon is coming up, so we kind of... I'm expecting to see some kind of movements towards the dragon. Especially from KCL Red, they probably feel like they really need to prioritize this dragon. They don't want the blue side to get that third dragon and get extra turret damage, and because we just saw there, we know Jinx takes turrets like no man's business, so with that extra damage to turrets, she will do it even faster. You can see the Anna's best is just donating his red buff over to Cheeky as fuck, who's now opted for his Zeal, so it looks as though he's either going Phantom Dancer next, or he's going to that Static Shiv. And we have 3 members of KCL Red here, ready for the next dragon fight. Actually, it's all 5 of them are here now. But that said, in response, we do have all 5 of ERMGAD here with almost all of their ults up. Only one without one is Exkyoshi, but that could be vital. Here we have Raven goes in onto the Scion, but may not be very optimal. He's taking a lot of damage. He's taken really down low, and there goes that Scion ult. Anna's best picks off the Maokai, but Farscape 1 goes straight in onto that Jarvan and picks him up, and then Katarina gets taken off by Ains. Kenza's gets picked off by the Jinx there, and that is a 4 for 2 in favor of ERMGAD. 13 and 9 now, 3 and almost 4k gold ahead, and that is going to be a free third dragon. Graves is 0-0 and 9, but that might not mean much because they didn't really get what they wanted out of that team fight. How do you feel about that team fight?
I think it's the kind of perfect engagement we're looking for. With all our ults pretty much up, we just go in. Especially with the Jinx. Before, the Jinx wasn't as strong, and now we're transitioning more into mid game. The Jinx is starting to be more relevant. I mean, Jinx has quite a rough laning phase. She's kind of like, well, not Bane in a way, but like she needs time to kind of be relevant, time to build up all her damage, time to get the items. As you can see now, she has the Zeal and the cloak, so that's giving her the extra crit chance. So that means on her Qs, she's doing mad amounts of damage, AOE damage.
And the Scion ult coming out here, I don't really think he really wanted anything from it there. I think he just kind of wanted to make sure Graves didn't get a turret there for free. And yeah, I definitely agree about the point you made about Jinx there. She is quite a kind of a human snowball, really. Theoretically, the snow she's picking up is the items, and then she's just kind of rolling, and then she gets so big that she's just gonna kind of pick up people, i.e. kills, and and turrets and other objectives. And we have Anna's best here. Could is he caught out? He does get that E. Keeper Lily's timed that E really badly. Our Shumpo kind of got her knocked up and stopped any kind of real kill potential. As Kyoshi's here now just to make sure nothing really goes down there, because I don't think they really want to go in for a 3v3 here when they have a 3-1 Lissandra. Also, just to, back the point a little bit more of the Ains is the best Leona in the world, guys. He is 3-1-7 right now. We have a little kind of skirmish here going on. You have Matt Graves, Cham trying to get some damage out here, but it's not really, he didn't really get much out there. It was kind of, nothing really happened here, but we do have quite a lot of people down here in the bot lane, and it might be a good idea to, oh no, actually all of their ults are up. It's probably a poor idea. Keeper of Lilies could be caught out here. Cham and Keeper of Lilies are in a bad position here. They get the 4-man ult, and his best goes straight in, and that is an easy pickup. And there they get Graves right there, and then Vi goes down straight after. SE1 Raven is just trying to stop this, but cheeky as fuck, mate, picks him up. Kenzas is trying to help here, but he really can't because Kyoshi is just too big and takes off that, like, just ults the Karina and it's over. 6-1 onto that Kyoshi, and funnily enough, you said that Kyoshi was the weakest member of your team, and yet it seems as though he's doing the best.
I did tell him if he doesn't feed this game, he's gonna get Pulse Fire Ezreal and a dinner on me. So I think that's the motivation really pulling through right here.
And that's just going to be another free turret, really. As I said earlier about that kind of human snowball thing with the Jinx, she just took that turret like no problem. They had no minions. Sion was able to just tank it, and she just shredded it better than anyone else on any, like either of these teams could shred right now. And they ended up getting 2 turrets, so that does put them at a turret advantage of 5-2, and they are 10k gold ahead. And it's like Raven's going to walk straight into this one. Takes an ult to the face there from the Leona, and he's really low, and there he goes down to Ains. But that could be a kill for Keeper of Lollies. That's 2 kills for Keeper of Lollies. And then Vi comes in, Farscape getting that nice Q off. Can they get Kyoshi here? Can they get that shutdown gold? I don't think so. I think he is going to get away here quite nicely. And blue turrets, or the blue turret does fall, really. I should say minions there, just kind of coming in handy for KCL, picking up that little extra gold that brings them that little bit back into the game, really. 5-5 onto Keeper of Lollies here on the Karina, and that could be vital. One thing I've come to note about this game particularly is that Kyoshi really needs to save his ult. If he doesn't have his ult up, they're going to lose the fight. And if he ults someone that isn't Katarina, there's a higher chance they will lose the fight. Unless Karina is not there to kind of defend or to try and fight, he needs to prioritize her, because we've just seen there's like these little fights where she just kind of comes in and picks up kills. She has so much damage, so much more so than anyone else on her team right now. And I think that they need to prioritize locking her down. We've seen Ains be a little bit trigger happy with his ulti on Maokai particularly. Like he's just kind of thrown his ult onto him about twice when they've caught him out of position, which isn't okay for him. He shouldn't really be that out of position. But that said, he has been able to kind of, if he didn't get caught out in some of these positions, there may have not been the revenge kills that were there for Keeper of Lollies. So I guess it's a give and take, really. Here we go. There's another ult that was kind of illustrated my point there. He kind of botched that ult to try and just catch out Raven there, and it didn't really work out that time, unlike the other times that it did work out. 3 wards here for Ains, just popping his red drink, but Raven's out of position here. He goes in regardless, takes a lot of damage, gets CC'd down, and that was really bad on his part. Keeper of Lollies got completely walled out of the fight by Sniper there. Has to E away defensively to get away from the Q there, and then there's a free ult out Jinx there, but it didn't really do much. This could be Kenza's down though, because he does get ulted by Jarvan, and I don't think he can take much damage. Keeper of Lollies tries to go in there, but it doesn't really work out for him, and Jinx picks him up. Kyoshi just ulted himself to make sure he didn't take so much damage from that fight and give away a reset, and that is a 4-0 again. That is the second 4-0 that has happened in this game. And while I feel you have to commend the effort that has come out of KCL Red to try and come back and try and fight this back. It hasn't really worked out in their favor at all, and that was just a wasted TP there to try and save that turret or back them away. But they knew that just a Maokai on his own wasn't going to stop them. And this could be. I don't think they're going to inhibit their base. I think they're going to try and take that 4th dragon. If they can get 5 dragons in this game, that will definitely be worth their while. How do you feel about that last fight and the resulting inhibitor?
I mean, we Katarina pick. I think it's so weak. I mean, you've got so much CC around. You've got Leona with like 3 portions of CC. You've got Sion with his CC, and you've got J4 with his knockups, and you've got Liz as well. I mean, pretty much 4 members of our team have CC that can stop Katarina's ult. So, yeah, realistically, I mean, it just seems like it's going to be a win from here. I don't know. I don't see any comeback really from them. We're closing in on the 5th dragon soon. I mean,
although that said, you did just concede a free dragon, but I don't think that's going to be like, oh yeah, they're going to win now because they just got their 1st dragon. That extra damage on Katarina is going to be totally useful. We did see pings coming out from KCL Red there to the Baron buff even, but no one's really going to do anything here. If they did do that, you do have Kyoshi and you do have the Jinx just around ready to try and stop anything that could happen, but it seems as though nothing will do. We'll have a quick look at CS, which we haven't really looked at so far in this so far recently anyway. We do have 290 CS on the Jinx, over 215 of Graves, and I think that's quite vital because if we look at the items, we can see she has a whole item on him now. And we have a quick fight here going on, although we have an ult coming out from Farscape onto Cheeky, but he's a bit out of position now, and that's just a free kill for him. Zyra goes down, and now Cham's just going to get chunked by Cheeky. That's a double kill. All this clustering in the middle of the fight goes on, and as a result, Katarina just goes down. And now Raven's just on his own. He knew he was dead, and he just decided to just stand there and die. It was okay, and that could be game. That was a 5-for-1, and an inhibitor is down, super minions are in the base, and Jinx pushes like a monster. So that is probably the game in there. We do have the surrender coming out there. Alright. Okay. With that game over, we will be heading into game 2 soon. But we are going to have an intermission just quickly. So, sorry for all the waits if you do stick around for the waiting. But we will be back at 5:20. Thank you very much for watching.